This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of Starcast. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is Starcast, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hi, and welcome back to your official Billingham Stars podcast in association with Thor's Ice Cream, and it's your Billingham Town Council, Billingham Stars. This is Starcast. We're here again after a week of Stars hockey and a big weekend gone, a big weekend coming up. Plenty to talk about. Delighted to be joined by, I'll point it the right way, first time. Carol's here with us and Jono's here with us. Evening both. How's things this evening?
All good.
Yeah, all good, all really good considering.
Yeah, well, we've got considering a good kicking off point. So we do have the game on Sunday to talk about. A loss to the Blackburn Hawks. I'll go over the results of the NIHL North 1 throughout the weekend, and then a double header against the Solihull Barons, who are themselves coming into a bit of form as well. So we'll talk all about that, and we'll round up with any other business as well. So plenty to come over the next hour or so. We'll start at the weekend. Blackburn came in on Sunday. I can give you my review because I was in the Tyne Theatre and following Carol's updates on social media. The third period, can I just say, on social media was horrendous to follow because Ian equalised and then there was nothing for like 15-20 minutes and I'm going, oh, what's happening? And then the score flashed up, and it was the final score from D-side Solihull. And so, oh no, it's not us. And then obviously, just before the show I was at restarted, Blackburn scored. I was like, and I had to catch up later. But yeah, no, the updates were much appreciated, even if waiting for one was hell on earth at the theatre. Refresh. We'll get I'll just get in the updates. We'll go through the scorers. And then we'll talk about it. As I say, Carol and Jono will have to lead from their ringside positions. So it was Blackburn winning by 6-5. A late goal for them, taking it. Goals for the Billingham Stars from James Moss, from James Helens, from Michael Elder, from Callum Wilkinson, and from Ian Brown. For the Hawks, 2 from Tom Barry, 2 from Adam Barnes, 1 from Jacob Lutwich, and 1 from Liam Charnock. As I say, 6-5, the winning goal coming in the final minute of regulation time. And that's not where the drama ended either. So who would like to go first? Ladies first, shall we say? Carol, do you want to kick us off? Early thoughts then. Blackburn, 6-5 over your Billingham Stars.
Well, I actually thought it was a return to form for both teams because all the games between the two teams last year were barnstormers and the best games that we saw last season, except the playoff final, strangely enough, which the Stars bossed really. So this was a return.
Forgot the 9-0.
Forgot the 9-0.
That was a barnstormer for us.
That was a barnstormer for us, to be fair. But I thought it was a return to battle for both teams, and it was a fantastic game to watch. I think Fozzie hit it on the head in post game. Those are the games you want to be involved in. I've said it a million times. You don't want to see 15-0ers. You want to see games like that. It was brilliant. First period, I thought the Stars edged it. There was times when we were really back to our invincible best. And again in the third period, had a bit of a wobble in the second. I hope that's not a return to the bad old days of Stars having dodgy second periods. But first and third periods, I thought we looked magnificent. And then for it to end the way it did was just a little bit sour, to be honest, because after a game like that, where, both teams throwing the kitchen sink at it and battling right out, and then Mr. Barry has himself a right minute, doesn't he? He puts his side ahead, 6-5, and then literally seconds later, he's doing the most blatant shove of the net you're ever likely to see, and the referee calls it wrong. He gave him a delay the game penalty when actually he should have given a penalty shot, and who knows what might have happened. I mean, obviously a penalty shot is by no means a given, but it would have been nice to have the chance to take that to overtime, and it does slightly sour it. But what a great game from both sides. It was a really good watch.
Yeah, no, sounded from my vantage point, row L, seat 15, I think it was, in the Tyne Theatre. Couldn't see the ice very well, but yeah, getting the updates. Jono, yourself, how was it from ringside?
Yeah, I think everyone's known the build-up about this one probably all week. It was one of those Sky Sports news weeks, wasn't it, where everyone was just talking about this game and how it would go. Thankfully, we didn't have the Sky Sports finale where the big games end up in nil ball draws, and the game was electric. The atmosphere was electric. It was just unbelievable from the moment that the puck was dropped, and you could see by a long way that these two teams are the best two teams by a long way. The standard of hockey was on shore was fantastic, and from the Stars' point of view, I thought we were outstanding. What a response from last week. Whether obviously it was the bigger game, a bigger team, or whether it was just we just wanted to show how good we actually are. Not quite sure what it was, but we were unbelievable. Probably for 45, 50 minutes of that game, we were the better side. Dominated the first period and dominated the third period. I'm not going to get into the shot count because I don't believe it that much myself. But yeah, fantastic advert of hockey, especially at our level. I'm not even gutted that we lost. I can't be, because the effort, the performance was that good. Referee made a mistake at the end, so it's that's probably a bit of a sour touch that the referees probably had the final say on the game. Whether it was because he had in his mind of evening up the penalties from the melee that happened, the scrum that happened, and he just had his mind going, I'm going to even this up. Yeah, and lost the time of what was on the clock. Obviously, we know last 2 minutes of the game, or at least the last minute of the game, if net is pushed off deliberately, it is an automatic penalty shot. It wasn't awarded. It wasn't meant to be, and we've got 3 more dances to go, and I think they're going to be just as equal and great good games as well.
Yeah, no, it certainly sounded. Obviously, the updates and then getting all of the chatter afterwards. Obviously, the final period was a lot of the talking points, but Carol mentioned in our roundup in our report that the mad few minutes in the middle period when the teams were trading goals seemingly every few seconds, and that's where Blackburn kind of went from kind of 3-1 down to leading 5-4 at the end of the second, and that was a crazy spell that kind of took the game a little bit away from Billingham and towards Blackburn. Carol.
Yeah, I genuinely just think we switched off a little bit. Like I say, I'm kind of hoping it's not a return to a couple of seasons ago when every second period we played seemed to be a bit like that. But I think we just lost focus. Maybe it was the fact that we were playing so well against the title favourites, and the pre-game talk had all been about how many Blackburn were going to score, blah blah blah. I don't know, mate, but we clearly took our eye off the ball just for a few minutes, and you can't do that against a team as good as Blackburn. You just can't do it. So it just became too open. I imagine both coaches were on the bench going, "What is going on?" Because all of a sudden the play was wide open, and both goaltenders were basically left to deal with what was coming at them. So yeah, took our eye off the ball, and in the end, it's cost us, but. It was literally for that spell and the rest of the game, as Jono said, I think we were the better team, and you look at Harrison Walker in goal, who hasn't come away with a man of match performance, and he really should have done. I mean, he's basically won them that game, and that's why they brought him in. So yeah, a mad few minutes. one that the Stars will look back on and say, yeah, that's probably what's cost us here. But them's the breaks.
Yeah, there's 4 goals in 2 minutes and 51 seconds. And we know the weapons that on the Hawks have got, and there was 2 from Adam Barnes and 1 from Jacob Lutwich, who have doing it for them for the last number of years, and we know how dangerous they are. And like you say, just a mad couple of minutes. John, you say the positives are it was kind of a good performance from us, and Carol mentioned it in our post game with Foz, the little tweaking around the lines, and that seemed to click, and all lines again were contributing for the Stars on the night.
Yeah, right the way down to the third line. Preston, Lucas, and Shuggy were so effective all night long. Didn't go up against their third line much. I don't think they iced it very much, to be honest. But yeah, they grafted all night long against the top 2 lines, creating chances, creating moments, and just doing a real good defensive job on them, just so our top 2 lines could have a rest and take the attack to them. Callum went straight on to the second line, winning a lot of face-offs, which is huge. We know you can't win games and score goals without the puck, and winning face-offs is the biggest part of that battle. If you win the face-off, you can control the narrative, and that's what he did quite a lot of the night, which was absolutely fantastic. And the top line is the top line. Once they get into that groove, they're unstoppable. And Sykes, he had another great night. Ian was double-manned all night long, but still managed to find some space for a great goal late in the third. And Mikey's Mikey. He's going to lead this team until he can't skate no more. And it was one of those captain's performances from him where he just took the team on his back and he said, "Follow me, lads, I'll show the way." And the lads didn't disappoint. They all put the effort in, and it was just an unbelievable performance from them.
Yeah. Mikey and Ian both had 1+1. Sykes had 3 assists on the night. Mossy 1 goal and 2 helpers as well. So the points really were shared out. I said James Helens as well, chipping in from the blue. So defense getting involved as well. So it bodes well after the Telford. It was kind of the perfect bounce back. Yes, we didn't get the win perhaps, but the performance and it's kind of back to Billingham Stars hockey almost.
Very much so, and I think it bodes well going forward. I think if we'd been well beaten on Sunday, alarm bells might have started ringing. But at the end of the day, that game, I think I said it in post game, but that game really could have gone either way. It's down to a couple of decisions either way that have decided that game. And there's nothing but pride at this end for me. It was awesome to see. I think we gave Rowley man of the match, and he didn't get a point all night. But for me, he epitomised the performance because he was all over that rink on Sunday, all over the rink, battling for absolutely everything, and well-deserved man of the match performance for me. So nothing but pride sat here, because honestly, we could very easily be sat here talking about a win. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, what I was going to say there as well, the crowd could quite easily have walked away from that after a beating, going, the summer's cost us. We brought nobody in to replace those players that we haven't replaced. Blackburn have went and signed 5 guys. They went and signed 4 National League guys and an import to try and catch us. And if that's them trying to catch us, when on paper we've got worse than last year, we've lost Tommy Spraggan, Joe Walls, Conor McNulty, and only promoted within. Just speaks volumes of this club. And I think after Alan's interview last week on here, and the crowd will go away and go, you know what, this is the right way to do things. We are a fantastic hockey club. We don't need to go and bring it left, right, and centre in. We could just bring it in, bring it up. We had young Matty pick up on the bench dressed this week. He's going to learn so much just from being in that changing room, just for watching that game at that level. He will learn so much from that, and that's what we're going to do. And I was like, after this final buzzer one, it was a bit raw. I saw Jacob down on his knees. He was devastated for obvious reasons. So you kind of feel the lad's pain there. But when you sat at home thinking back at it, you go, you know what? Yeah, we're class siders. We are very, very, very good. And if we set that standard now moving forward, that's the minimum performance, we're going to have another great season.
Yeah. I was going to mention Matty Pickup. Obviously, he got called up. Possibly not the game, and the way the game panned out, obviously not the game he was going to get a lot of ice time. But like you say, Jono, it's as as Alan said, it's the Billingham way of the last few years, promoting from within. We've seen Matty already in the few games he's had with the Bucks. He's been able to find the net. There's more in the line where Matty's come from. Looking forward to get some reinforcement on the blue lines further down the line, perhaps. But yeah, giving Matty that chance, and he will get a sniff later in the season, maybe against a different opponent. Maybe he's not a one at the top of the table, but that's been the way of the club for the last few years, and long may it continue. Contrast that with eve of the game, Blackburn signed Jack Brammer from Sheffield Steel Dogs. Not quite the. I'm saying that in a way. Obviously, Jack's had a tough time. He lost his dad recently, so he is wanting to kind of have a fresh start almost. But that's the contrast of the two organisations. Billingham are short. We bring players up. Blackburn want to add, and they go and sign a national division player. So it kind of contrasts the approaches. We'll see which one comes out in the end. We know which one's come out in the last couple of years. We'll see what one comes out this year.
Yeah, I think we had a little conversation going on one of the chat groups during the week about the two very contrasting approaches of the two clubs. And what really brought it home to me was the number of players we have on our team that haven't come through Billingham's juniors, which is quite a small number, and the number of players that Blackburn have on their books that have come through Blackburn's juniors, which is one. And I think I'm not going to sit here and say which approach is best, because each club has got to do what they've got to do to put a team and a product together to put on the ice. But I like the way we do it. I like the way that we've stuck to our guns. And it would have been very easy to say this isn't paying off. We're gonna go and bring players in from elsewhere. But where do those players come from? Players don't grow on trees, as it were. And Blackburn have the opposite problem because that their junior system isn't really quite there yet. So where do they get players from? They can't bring them through as we do. They have to go and get them from somewhere else. So very, very contrasting approaches. There's no rule book to say which one's right at the end of the day. It's just what suits, and what suits us is promoting from within, and what suits other people is bringing in from outside. So it was a true contrast on Sunday, because, as I say, if you look at through the lineups and look at where those players have come from, there is a marked difference.
There are as many Billingham juniors in the Blackburn lineup as there are Blackburn juniors. So shout out, Mr. Warnock.
Yes.
So from after the game Sunday, then obviously I've seen the stuff on social. What was the vibe around the rink Sunday night? I see obviously Jono's, so it was kind of raw straight on, but then kind of the more you reflect, was that kind of the vibe you were getting, Jono, on Sunday night?
Yeah, spoke to a lot of people. I had a couple of private messages on my WhatsApp saying what my thoughts on the game. I give those thoughts pretty much what I revealed there. Like, yeah, it was raw at full time. Of course it is. You want to win the big games, and we deserve. I think the biggest bit is we deserve something from the game. To lose it on the 42nd second, I think it was, when they scored the go ahead goal. To lose it in that fashion, we didn't deserve that. The performance didn't deserve that. I'm not saying that Blackburn didn't deserve something out of the game. If we went on and won the game and took all 3 points, I think they would be saying they deserve something from the game, and probably true. I think an overtime win for the Stars would have been the most accurate outcome for that game. It just wasn't meant to be. We didn't get the 50-50 decisions in that game, in my opinion. But yeah, it's just the pride. I think everyone was just proud of the performance and understand that what they put together and what we put together, that most people thought that they would have blown us away, and it never happened. We pretty much nearly blew them away, to be honest. So yeah, the fans were happy. Obviously, no one's happy to lose, but the fans were happy with the performance, and I bet you most of them are itching to get back at the rink on Saturday to watch us go again, which is the most important thing. Same
for you, Carol. Fans in the stands around you, and response you've seen on social media and things, like same as what John was saying.
Oh, very much so. Nothing but pride. Not rising to some of the jibes on socials, which is good to see. There's some people with very warped memories of playoffs that they keep bringing up It's very
Mhm.
odd. But yeah, it's been really quite nice to see the response that the lads have got, because they deserved it. They that was a proper gutsy, skillful, leave it all out there performance, and that's all you can ask for when you're a fan. If as
Mhm.
long as you know and you can see that everything's been left out on the ice, win or lose, there's never any complaints, and they certainly did leave everything out there.
A lot of
And
pro teams would appreciate that effort. To be honest, a lot of pro teams don't get that level of effort and commitment. So to get that from lads who had work that very next day, there'd have been some sore bodies on that Monday morning when that shift started at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m., whatever it was. So to get that level of commitment and that work rate, it's just nothing but sensational from the boys.
Yeah. And they say that the fans as well, particularly over the last couple of years, we haven't lost many league games, let alone many league games at the Forum. So for the support to still be there in the face of what's now a losing streak of 2 games. Oh no, what's going on?
It's the first loss at the Forum in over a year as well. We didn't lose a league game last year at the Forum.
No, we didn't. We didn't really lose any games at the Forum, but
Yeah.
Not mention that again. But yeah. So I say from my following on from afar, appreciate all the updates, and I will get around to having a look at the video. I haven't managed to do it just yet. I will look at the video tonight or tomorrow. And maybe I'll get as annoyed as everybody about the delay game as well. Just before we finish on the Blackburn, from myself, big thanks to Ant and Matt jumping in on the announcers DJ spot covering the game. Hope they enjoy the vantage point that I get most weeks. Looking forward to being back in post this coming weekend. But yeah, thanks to Ant and to Matt for jumping in. Anything more on Blackburn's big push to win, shall we say?
Yeah, just if anybody from Blackburn's watching, please stop pouring your sports drinks on the ice at the end of the game. It's childish and pathetic, and it ruins the ice surface. Thank you.
This public service announcement is brought to you in association with Thor's Ice Cream. Did I mention that's twice now? I'm getting this sorted. Well, if there's nothing else on Blackburn, we'll have a quick squint at the results from the weekend before we take our break, and then we'll look at the upcoming doubleheader for your Stars. So, week 7 of the NIHL North 1 Morley Division, scores and tables courtesy of Joe at NIHL Stats. So from Saturday, it was the Hull Jets 4, the Widnes Wild 5. Widnes have got a new player in the lineup as well, from Peterborough, who we saw in the South 2 playoffs last April. So he's made a scoring appearance on debut. So Wild, as we've said a couple of weeks on the pod already this season, showing a marked improvement from last year. So Widnes Wild winning on the road. Another American football score down at Telford. This was Telford Tigers 2, scored 11, Leeds Knights 7. Just a mad game. 62-28 with the shots on goal. So Jessen had 4, Silverthorne, Howells had 3, Mitchell, Davis and Stanton. No goals for Vladimir Luka. How did they score 11 and Vlad doesn't score? Or did he play? I better check this.
He did. He got 2 assists.
Right. Oh, so he was on the... Yeah. He must only save them for the big teams. That's where it is.
His wrist must have been hurting from last week still.
And from Leeds Knights, Sportforth had a hat-trick. Exley, O'Sullivan, Harrison and Saville. So again, Leeds Knights putting up a good show, but coming undone 11-7. How often do we say that? On to Sunday, it was the D-side Dragons 5, Solihull Barons 9. Big third period from Solihull taking it away after it was just a 1-goal game after 40 minutes. Witkowski with 2, Barlow, Phillips and Jones for D-side. And then for the Solihull Barons, Nixon with 2, Riley, Otterson, Allen, Morris, 2 for Goodison, and Landsbergs with 2. Landsbergs with 1 as well. So a 9-5 for the Solihull Barons. We'll look at the table in a minute to see where they are. Billingham and Blackburn, we've talked, and the final game of the weekend was the Nottingham Sheffield derby, and it went the way of the Lions 5-2. At the National Ice Centre, hat-trick for Alex Rushby, Humphreys and Woodward for the Lions, and for Sheffield it was Matthewman and Dancer with their goals. So table, Blackburn 7-0 with 21 points, Solihull 6 and an overtime loss from their 7 games on 19 points. Deeside have 17 from 8, Telford have 15 points from 6, Widnes have 13 from 10, Billingham have 12 from 6, and then Hull Jets 11, Leeds Knights 6, that rounds out your playoffs, and bottom 2, Nottingham 6, and Sheffield still no score. Carol, where would you like to start?
Well, 2 results stood out for me, to be fair. Hull v Widnes. I think that's the biggest sign so far of the improvement at Widnes. Given that Hull used to be practically unbeatable at home, granted that kind of veil of invincibility kind of disappeared last season, but they're a tough prospect on their own ice, and Widnes going there and getting the points wasn't on my bingo card, if you like. And the other one was Solihull, who we kind of have noticed sometimes don't travel quite so well, but obviously did at the weekend, because that's a fantastic result at Deeside. I can see Solihull up there and challenging this season, and that's another clear sign that they're on an upward trajectory. So those are the 2 results that stood out for me.
Yeah, is that Riley? Is that their new import?
Yeah, he's the Aussie guy.
Yeah,
he's still no Bruce.
He's no Bruce, but he's chipping away nicely. He seems to have fitted in all right. And they're getting goals from the back as well, which obviously they did a lot last year. Tyler Nixon had 2, and Corey Goodison had 2 from the blue line. So they're not relying on the one line, which is Murray's. Finally, they're trying to spread the scoring around after us shouting about it for however many years.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that game, Deeside Solihull was probably the other game of the weekend, and Deeside would have wanted to put on a good show after what happened last weekend, splitting the Leeds series. But yeah, conceding 9 at home, possibly not what they wanted. So we'll see how they respond. Anything for you, Jono, of the results?
Yeah, I think it's just a Saturday game, the whole Widnes game. I mean, at 4-2 going into the third, you'd have probably had your mortgage on Hull, seeing that one home. But to have that 3-zip period in the third period on home ice, that's probably going to sting the Hull coaches a little bit, that one. And that's a big result for Widnes. I think they are going to be one of those teams who are going to be a bit of a pin in the backside to get rid of. Even if you're 2 or 3 up in the first or second period, I think they're still going to be hanging around and trying to get themselves back into the game. And Solihull Deeside, I mean, for me, it's just Deeside still haven't sorted those defensive issues out that's haunted them the last couple of years. I know they brought in a netminder and that, but I don't think they brought in enough. I still think they focus too much on that forward set. But yeah, I think the defense will continue to haunt them for most of the season, I think, in Deeside.
Yeah. Just back to the Widnes, the signing they announced through the week last week was AJ Herring, who was in Peterborough, as I say, Peterborough 2 last season and scoring a lot in South 2. He's obviously making the move to North 1 and scored on debut. It was actually 4-1 to Hull before Herring scored his first goal just before the half hour. And then, like you say, a 3-zip final period took the game away for Widnes. So plenty going on around the division, and as I say, it's a cliche that we've said a number of times, but the division is looking like it's going to be even more competitive than last year, which can only be good. If we can get Sheffield off the mark as well, even better. But that'll be a battle through to the end of the season. You would think they're down for the playoffs again. So we've done the league tables, quick skim at the fixtures, then we'll take a quick break. So Saturday in the league, Billingham Stars, Solihull Barons at 5:30. League and Cup is Hull Jets and Deeside Dragons. And then league game, the late one, 7:30 at the Castle, Leeds Knights 2 against Sheffield Scimitars. And then a full programme on Sunday, 5 fixtures on Sunday afternoon, starting at 4:50 with Sheffield Scimitars and Leeds Knights. A Yorkshire derby in the league. League and Cup, D-side versus Hull. So they have another home and home. Completing the home and home, Solihull and Billingham, down at Hobson Moat Road, 5:30. Blackburn, Hawks and Widnes Wild take the league game at 6 p.m. And then finishing off the weekend, a League and Cup tie, Telford Tigers, Nottingham Lions, and how many goals this weekend. So we'll talk about the Billingham doubleheader before we take a break. Anything else on the fixtures catch your eye before we press the break button? If not, we'll take an interval. Anything?
D-side and Hull be a biggie. You want to see what Hull's type of response will be. And obviously see what D-side are like on the road. Last time D-side were on the road, they didn't take Leeds too seriously and came away with a loss. So that makes that game very, very interesting for me.
Yeah.
There's 3 home and homes there, and I think all 3 will tell us quite a lot about the teams involved. So Leeds v Sheffield as a marker for how the teams towards the bottom are going to fare over time would be a good one. But quite unusual that 3 home from homes in one weekend. I'm not sure we've seen that before, so it should be fun.
Yeah. No, it used to happen a lot back in the day. Yeah, double headers. Until people started killing each other in the second game. But yeah, we shall see what takes place this weekend. But that's it for the first half. We'll take our interval. Ice creams and drinks from the bar in the interval. And we'll be back shortly with more from your Billingham Stars podcast. This is Starcast.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of Starcast. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to Starcast, second part of this week's podcast. Carol and John are here again, talking now about this coming weekend for your Billingham Stars. And it's a home and home, as we said, looking at the fixtures. Solihull Barons, home on Saturday, away on Sunday. And as we said, Solihull second in the table, coming in a bit of form. Big wing at D-side. They've got their second import now in place and scoring lines. And they kind of sneaky quiet. Did a bit of recruitment in the summer as well. Maybe didn't shout about it as loud as other teams did. So, Carol, you can kick us off on this one. And Solihull, we know it's always a keen encounter, home and away. What do we expect to see when they come north on Saturday?
I think we're going to see a more resilient Barons side on the road than we've been used to in previous seasons, because even when Solihull have done relatively well in the league and finished second, third, whatever, they always seem to trip over when they come to the Forum. And I don't think we're going to see that this weekend. I think the steel is in the backbone now for the Barons, and I think that result on D-side proved it. They've only really tripped up once this season so far, and I think they've probably learned a lot from that. I think I said at the time on the podcast that they would be kicking themselves over that result. It was an overtime loss in Hull. And I think they probably learned a lot from that. And I think it'll be a different beast that we see at the Forum on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday will always be difficult because Solihull, I don't know if we've quite exercised that demon yet. But it always used to be the place that we dreaded going because stuff always happened in Solihull. It's a pretty tough place to go. It's not a nice venue. Sorry, Solihull, it's just not. It's not nice for the players. It's an intimidating atmosphere. It's quite far as well, so it's not the fixture that you look for on the fixture list. It's usually the one that you try to pretend isn't there. So it's going to be a really hard weekend. I don't think we can take too many feet off gas this weekend. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, Jono, I was just looking through their lineup. Obviously a lot of returning players, but bringing in the likes of Tyler Nixon, who's been an IHL, Edgar Landsbergs, and the second import that they've added in as well, Lucas Price coming up from an IHL as well. So maybe he's not shouting as loud as other teams in our division about signing national players, but Solihull have definitely strengthened from last year.
100%. Phil Lee's done well with his recruitment this summer. Like D-side, he noticed a huge hole in his roster in defence. He knew he had to strengthen that, and that's what he's done. And we'll see how good that is this weekend, because he's faced Witkowski in that this week, but I don't think there's an offense like ours. I really, and I'll say that. I don't think anyone can match our top six. There is other good top sixes, but man for man, our top six is probably the best in the division. And I'll argue with anyone from Blackburn, anyone from Solihull, anyone from D-side about that. The trophies prove that, to be fair. But they've strengthened the defence. They've brought players down, as other clubs have, to make a good go of it. They did slip up at Hull, so that might just have some demons. Yes, they got a good result in D-side, but again, as I mentioned earlier on, I still think they've got plenty of defensive issues up there, which a very good offense will capitalise on, and that's what Solihull are. We've always known them as to have a very fantastic top line. That won't change. It will be probably Otterson, White, and Mokai on that top line, and with a little bit more strength now with the new Aussie guy coming in. So be interesting to see how that top line or top two lines do look. But I'm confident if we put that kind of performance in that we put in on Sunday, I'll be very, very, very confident. If we don't put that performance in, we're probably looking at potential a streak of 4 lost games in a row, which hasn't happened for a very, very long time.
Yeah, no, it's something that's not. They say the last couple of years certainly hasn't happened. And as we mentioned, I can't remember if we mentioned it on the pod or if we mentioned it just in our actual conversations outside of the podcast, which do happen, people, in real life, believe it or not. The second import that they've added, Jake Riley, has come from the Australian League. Another team in our division had an Australian a few years ago, kind of setting the bar. So Jake Riley seems to have decent enough pedigree from the AIHL. He's chipped in with a couple of goals so far, but he's no Bruce.
No, I don't think anybody was quite like Bruce.
No.
I think Bruce might have been unique.
That's it, yes. Can't disagree for many, many reasons. But yeah, but I say it's good to see clubs casting the net as far as wide as possible to recruit the best players for the division. So we'll see how it works out at the weekend.
He has played AIHL level as well in Australia as well, hasn't he? So he has played at their top level as well, which a lot of our league guys go over there and play at that level. So he has played with a good caliber of players. So I expect to see a top player come this weekend. But time will only tell, because not everyone suits to play in IHL Division 1. We've seen great players come in this division and just not get used to it, whether it's too big of a step down and it's just not for them, or too big of a step up for some players. But some top players do struggle at our level, imports as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes at the weekend.
Yeah, well, we'll see. As we know what that top line's like. Obviously, one of the Mulcays is still out. We'll obviously see him back before too long. But yeah, Alex White. We know last year he put up a hell of a lot of points from the back. If he chips in on that fills in on that line, he had 4 assists in D-side, so he's kind of picking up points again. So we know what that top line's like. This Jake Riley, if he's centering their second line, we'll know and see that the players they've added. It'll be interesting to see. But let's see, taking the momentum from the Blackburn game, and another home crowd. So that's 5:30 on Saturday. And obviously the return trip down to Hobbs Moat Road on Sunday, with the best chippy in the league. That's the one, isn't it? The best chippy in the league.
Yeah.
Yes. So a rare Saturday. There's a few Saturdays coming up, I think, before Christmas. So Hope the fans can make it on Saturday. If you were at the Blackburn game, and you've been entertained, then more of the same on the weekend. Saturday at the Forum Ice Arena at 5:30, and then down to Solihull on Sunday. And you mentioned Phil Lee earlier, Jono. Of course, Phil Lee fills the mandatory Billingham player quotient in every other club in the league. Former Billingham bomber Phil Lee. We try to get in contact to have a chat, but no can do. So we'll try something else in the future. Anything else on Solihull?
No, just if you haven't made the trip before and you half tempted to go down, yes, please do visit the Chippy. Just be aware there is no plexiglass in Solihull. It is fully surrounded by nets. One of the many things that makes it a strange place to visit. But yeah, every rink's
It's
worth
an
going
experience.
to. Yeah, every rink is worth going to at least once. I think I'm going to leave it at that.
Even if it is only once.
Even if it is only once.
What's it like? Is this the longest, or is Telford taking over the longest now?
I think Telford's slightly longer to get to.
Yeah. They're the two in our division that I haven't been to, so I need to sort that out before too long. Not this weekend though. He said. But yeah, if you are travelling down, usual rules apply. Loud and proud, plenty of shouting. I say do take a notice of the unique environment in Hobbs Motor Road. Yes, do visit the Chippy afterwards. Rink food gets 2 thumbs up on every occasion. Talking about the home game, as we mentioned in the supporters, it's also our Hockeyween Halloween themed game, so there'll be fancy dressing competitions and Halloween music and stuff like that. So if you want to win, Pride Animal Supporters Club put something on their socials. Was it yesterday or today? About the promotion for the Halloween game. So if you're coming along and you want to win some competitions, then have a look at the Supporters Club socials on Facebook, and they give you all the news about what they're doing for Saturday. But yeah, Halloween themed game on Saturday at the Forum, and then travelling on the Sunday. We'll draw veil there and head towards any other business. Before Jono has his list. On Monday, as you're listening to this, fellow podcast have been doing just a bit longer than us. We had Paddy from A View from the Bridge, which is a Belfast Giants Elite League podcast. But that doesn't make him a bad person. We had him on last season, and it was their 20th anniversary on Monday. They've been doing it 20 years when podcasts were still fairly new, and they've over 500 episodes. So we're quite a way behind that as things stand. We're into 30, 39, 40, somewhere like that. So a few hundred behind them. But yeah, congrats to Paddy and the guys at AVFTB, covering the Belfast Giants and the Elite League and all things there. Good stuff for them. I've got a note down that I can't even read my own writing. Do you want to do your list? Oh yes, I remember what it is. We mentioned it at the top and a couple of times in the show. Thor's Ice Cream are a partner of the podcast. And then before the show titles, we had a picture of their latest addition to the menu, and Carol managed to attract it at the weekend. So Rink Food Part 2, Carol, Thor's Ice Cream latest hot fudge.
I'm not sure we can big up Thor's any more than we already have, but
we can. Don't worry, we can.
It was good. That hot fudge is good. Come on.
The hot fudge whippy tray is delightful. I'm not going to have to find new ways of describing Thor's whippy trays because I'm running out of descriptive language. Very tasty, delightful, wonderful. Yes, please do give it a try.
Yeah, and when I saw it, I think he had it on his menu last week, the week before. And hot chocolate fudge cake is a particular weakness. Can I say that with bringing the teeth? Hot chocolate fudge cake with ice cream is like So yeah, if he's there on Saturday, if Mr. Thor's listening, and if you're there on Saturday, if you can squeeze one in for the announcer so he can nip out, get it, and come back straight in, so it doesn't miss any action, that would be very nice.
He was actually there early on Sunday, so you might get lucky. You might be there like well before the game, but unfortunately that did for him because he kind of conked out a couple of hours later. So
yes, he was. The guests were well served, and then his machine gave up the ghost. So we'll make sure I'm there first in the queue on Saturday. Anything else on the AOB from you, Carol, before we hand over to Supporters Club Guru, German man?
No, I'm going to leave it.
That's to be continued next week, folks.
Yes, probably.
Jono, Supporters Club, we got a home game on Saturday. I would imagine it was been a busy one on Sunday with a certain new gift item that was available.
Yes, just on the back of a few things you've just said there, your Thor's ice cream, you do get a discount with your Supporters Club membership. So get yourself along to the table and get signed up for that discount, especially for that hot chocolate fudge cake ice cream tray. Yeah, I'm trying to get my teeth in there as well. Hockey Ween as well. Yes, it is our big Hockey Ween game this weekend. So guys, do dress up. The judge will be walking around judging you and will be given an award for your best fancy dress. Your judge will be your very own Billy the Bear. He will be walking around and having a look and see who is the best dressed, we should say. It's not really fancy dresses at Halloween, it's more dressed. As for little mini Billy Bears, we did sell out on Sunday. However, a new order has gone in, so hopefully we will have more coming to you this Saturday, along with coasters, mugs. There's more baby bibs. We sold out a baby bib. Seems to be a baby boom in Billingham, and everyone wants a Billingham Stars baby. We're watching the TV, I guess.
Not a Billingham Stars baby. That's a different sideline altogether.
Our new design for sockies has been signed off, so we may have some designs on the table for this coming Saturday if they arrive quick enough, but everything's been signed off on those. We have the mini jerseys coming, your memberships, your man of the matches, your puck drops, and your own and loans are also available at the Supporters Club desk. So yeah, very busy. Loads of new merch and new sockies to come as well.
Is the sockies from Crosscheck again?
I believe they are.
I have to word with Pete to see if he can do an FM one, because I didn't get one quite in my athletic frame last time. So,
well, I believe this current design will come in 3 colours, so you'll have something to choose from.
See, now he's dropping all the secrets. 3 colours.
Exactly. So do be aware, and obviously keep an eye on the socials, because I know Billy Bear and his social media team are dropping lots of stuff from the games at the weekend, and all his little dancing that he does with the crowd. The Supporters Club page is chucking stuff out there in regards to Hockey Ween and other stuff that is coming as well.
No Blackburn mascot came up on Sunday. Fancy that.
I was going to make a joke there.
Yeah,
I honestly, it was behind my teeth.
Yeah, I quickly had to engage Bryn very, very, very quickly.
Mate, we'll save that for
Please cut this bit out.
Yeah, we'll save that for the post watershed version.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been good in my current position.
Anything else on any other business? Anything we've missed? Anything we need to raise?
Don't think so.
Yeah, the hockey world is quite quiet.
I've never really had a chance to look out much outside even our division, so I don't really know what's going on.
Detroit are on a 5-game burner, if that helps.
Sorry,
beat
Toronto.
Beat Toronto twice, I think, in the same week.
Well, that hardly counts, does it?
That's just bullying.
Is Ovechkin 900 goals? He must be on that, is he?
Not quite.
898 was the last thing I saw.
898 is 2 off. All right, okay. So that'll be quite impressive. 900 goals.
900.
He's got. I think he's got a couple of personal goals in mind, and then he'll be off ski.
I mean, 899 of them are empty netters, like so.
Of course they are.
you should get to 900 and just like cricket out, just declare 900, right? Be done. Bat under the arm and off he goes.
He's going to go on 999.
99.
Well, I don't think he's going to go beyond this season being brutal. I think he's. I think this is it. This is the last season, and then he's off ski back to.
Is this the last year of his contract, or has he got?
I can see it in his body language.
Is this his 20th year as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, he might call it after 20
I
years.
think he's. Yeah. I think he's pretty much. He's done what he set out to achieve, and he's got a couple more personal goals that he wants to achieve.
Appearances must be close to 1,000, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that, like I said, there's a couple of things he'll probably want to hit, and once he's done them, he'll be tootling off into the Russian sunset. I think.
Off to play with Mr. Putin's team somewhere. We'll try and be more informed on other hockey next week. Can't promise anything though.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, if he's on 898, it'll be all over social media because he'll probably get 900 this week.
Play Toronto? No. No.
Yeah, so that'll probably be a talking point next week. I would have thought. I'm assuming he'll get that this week.
We'll keep an eye on that.
He always starts seasons quiet. He's a bit slow this season, so we'll see.
Not trying to think. There's anything we've missed? If there's not, too late because we're going to call it there.
A bit early for Olympic talk. That's coming up soon.
The rink's not finished yet, so we'll wait and see what happens after.
Well, a bit like Basingstoke. Oh, sorry, I went.
I was going to mention when I was mentioning about Joe Scott and IHL stats because he's a Basingstoke commentator on the webcast this year.
You know what?
That was a late.
No, it's not even that. It's those lads on that Solway bus. Jeez.
It's just a bad story all around that one. It's just not nice for anybody. All the fans that have waited so long to see their team come back, all the Solway fans that had travelled the entire length of England to get there, and then it gets called off. Bad news.
We'll see what. I don't know when the next. Is it supposed to be this weekend now? Is it next? I can't remember when they said now.
Was it a Zamboni problem in the end? They said it was.
2 reports. One said ice malfunction and one said machine malfunction.
Oh well, who knows then? Who knows? And it is Planet.
It's Planet Ice. Toss his coin and then decide from there.
Maybe the ice cream man had a problem as well.
I just feel for everybody involved because it's brutal.
No, because over 1,000 tickets were sold for the game. Anthony had his bottle of beer ready to open. Luckily, he didn't do it prematurely, so it's still on his shelf, waiting to be opened once the puck drops at Basingstoke once again. We'll have to check on him actually because he did put it on his video the other day, and it's a bottle of Budweiser that's been sitting for over 2 years. So we better check on him if he drinks that.
It's not even best when it's fresh.
Yeah.
Anyway, can you tell we're running out of things to talk about? We'll draw a veil. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars podcast. It's been Starcast, Carol and Jono. Thanks to you for your contributions as always, Carol and Jono. Thanks everybody for listening and watching and wherever you get your podcast fix. If you could give us the usual like and subscribe and a rating as well if you're on Apple or Spotify or anywhere that allows you to give a rating, preferably a good one. I know this one possibly hasn't been a great episode. This ending particularly is dragging on awfully, but give us a rating and a review. We'll be better next week, I promise. Saturday 5:30, Forum Ice Arena, Billingham Stars versus the Solihull Barons. Another barn burner, I am sure. And the reciprocal trip down to Solihull on Sunday night, again to Hobbs Moat Road. So plenty of hockey this weekend. We'll talk all about it next week. If you can join us again on Starcast.
Thank you for watching and listening to Starcast. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.